welcome to Becky D's Kitchen. So today's kind of a rainy, kind of gross day, and it's the perfect kind of night for curling up with a movie. And what goes great with a movie? Caramel popcorn. So tonight we're going to take a shot at a recipe found from allrecipes.com for classic caramel popcorn. Woohoo! Now, this recipe normally uses sugar and butter. And I mean, sugar's great, but I'm going to go for the more natural route today and go with good old maple syrup. And instead of butter, we're going to use olive oil and make it nice and vegan, and it's going to taste fantastic. Okay, so to start, what we need is about 2 quarts of popcorn. So that is typically a 1/4 cup of popcorn kernels, and I just use, classic ones. Orville's says gluten-free right on it, but of course if it's just popcorn kernels, you don't really have to worry about gluten unless there's, I guess, manufactured in a fast facility with flour and stuff, but it's pretty straightforward. To pop it, I just put the 1/4 cup in a glass bowl with one of these little handy microwave popcorn lids, but you can also pop your popcorn over the stove and get it nice and popped. No oil required if you're doing the microwave version like this. If you're using the stove, you probably want to add a little bit of oil to your popcorn first. So once you've popped all your popcorn, now what we're going to do is actually grab a baking sheet and line it with some parchment paper. And I'm just going to put my popcorn on the baking sheet. So kernels are there. I should say you don't want any unpopped kernels, so you might want to pick them out because they get stuck in the caramel and stuck in your teeth, and that can get really annoying. And I just kind of fold my parchment paper on the ends just to kind of create a lip. But that's because I use a flat baking sheet. If you just use a regular one with an edge, I guess you don't really have to worry about your popcorn kind of spilling all over. So what I have here is just my popcorn laid out on a sheet, and I'm going to put it in the oven. I have my oven preheated for 250 degrees, and I'm just going to pop this in there now just to keep it warm. So when we pour the sauce on, it's going to be nice and warm. All right, the next step is to make the caramel sauce. So I've got a pot here, and what we're going to do first is I'm going to put a half a cup of maple syrup in that pot. So just measure that out here. Half a cup of liquid goodness straight in the pot. Now, it also calls for corn syrup, and I find corn syrup, because it's nice and thick, you want to keep the corn syrup. So, not the best for you, but I did find one that says without high fructose corn syrup. I don't know if that's any better, but hey, it's just a little bit. So we're going to do a 1/4 cup of corn syrup and add that to the pot. And then a 1/4 cup of, I've been using the extra light tasting olive oil. If you don't have that, you can use a different kind of oil too. Or if you want to use butter, if you're not vegan and you can handle the dairy, go ahead and use butter. Okay, so now I'm going to add my 1/4 cup of olive oil. There we go. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, now we're going to migrate over to the stove, and what we want to do is cook this until it's boiling, and meanwhile we want to stir constantly. So, put this on here. I'm going to put it all up high and start stirring with my whisk, just to mix it all. I guess the point is you want it to congeal. It starts boiling if you want to do that again. All right, as you can see, it is now boiling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn down to medium high And I'm just gonna leave it there and let it boil without stirring it for 5 minutes. Okay, so our caramel sauce has been boiling now for pretty much 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna bring that over here. And now we're just gonna add a couple key essential ingredients. The first is I'm gonna add a drop of doTERRA's vanilla. We'll give it just a nice little bit of flavor. I'll put a link to this in the bio. And there we go. Then I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of pure vanilla. All right, now I'm just gonna stir that together. And now this is gonna make the volcanic reaction. What we need is half a teaspoon of baking soda. Add it, stir, and be prepared for it to go crazy. Now, while it's going crazy, I'm gonna quickly take my popcorn out of the oven. Here we go. I'm gonna put it in the pot. So what I'm gonna do is add the popcorn to the pot to stir it all up and make sure all of them get some of the ooey gooey goodness on them. Uh-oh. Once you've mixed your popcorn into the sauce, dump it back on the sheet and spread it out. Here we go. Now what we're gonna do is pop this back in the oven for another 45 minutes. And every once in a while you wanna go in and stir it around a little bit, just so that it doesn't go as a hard rock, one big piece. And then we can enjoy. All right, so we've baked our popcorn for 45 minutes. I took it out of the oven and then I just let it chill for a little bit, cool, not chill, just so that it's touchable. And then all we do is just take it and break it up into little chunks and put it into an airtight container, and you're good to go. Enjoy your lovely snack tonight. Bon appetit.